When you turn 18, you probably think that the stars will align and your destiny will unfold before you like a map. I know I did. Turning 18 is a huge moment in anyone's life. Now what? Hello everyone, today we are talking about the exciting stage of turning 18 years old, how it feels based on hearing different people's experiences, and at the end, we have some important do's and don'ts to help you navigate through the stage of life. So, you're finally an adult. Who's in charge? You're in charge. But have you thought about what you expect to do the day after you turn 18? What about the one after that? After that? Turning 18 means the world is full of possibilities, but achieving your goals and becoming the person you've dreamed of is not as cut and dry as you think it is. Where do you plan to live as an adult? Many dream of turning 18 and leaving their parents' house to get their very own apartment. But that costs a lot of money. You have to have the cash for a deposit, plus the first and last month's rent, plus maybe an agent fee, and then you still have to pay your electric bill and rent every month. Wi-Fi? I hope you have the cash to pay that bill every month. Many teens forget to realize that moving out isn't just as easy as picking an apartment and paying the listed rent price every month. When you first become a legal adult, you likely don't even have the credit to be approved for an apartment without a guarantor or a co-signer. What's a guarantor? A guarantor is another legal adult who has good enough credit to co-sign responsibly on any credit line or apartment you rent. They basically vouch for you and bet the apartment owner that you will pay your bills, and if you don't, well, the guarantor is on the hook for your bill. So while moving out seems like a dream world of privacy and adulthood, if you can live at home safely and happily, you should. Living at home may not be as cool, but it can save you a ton of money and give you the time to learn how to be an adult. You save on rent cost, utility cost, food, laundry, and maybe even basic necessities like clothes and grooming products. If your parents are supportive and allow you to stay in the nest, you should stay right where you are. Now, this doesn't mean just give up and live at home for the rest of your life, but it can mean staying at home while you attend community college so you can save money and plan for your next step in life. Because you have to realize that things will begin to change quickly for you. Turning 18 likely means that you've graduated high school or are about to graduate, and from that point on, your life changes dramatically. You'll likely find that during the summer after your senior year, that your friends and even your enemies begin to peel off from your hometown to different futures they're imagining. Whether you move or they move, or even if you both stay put, you're likely to begin to see your classmates less. When you're in school, you are constantly swimming in the same ecosystem as these people. You share classes, meals, and even hang out to build friendships. But the friendships develop due to shared experiences. As you begin to no longer be a part of their daily rituals, you will start to drift apart. Likely you won't notice it happening until one day you realize it's been months since you talked to your best friend. This may seem bleak, but it isn't. It's a fact of life, and you are just growing up. You will begin to swim in new ecosystems and find friends that have similar experiences to yours. That doesn't mean you just leave your childhood friends behind. You will always share an intimate connection. But it does mean that making an effort to hang out with them will be vital if you want to carry them into your next phase in life. And if they do drift away, know that you're always likely to connect every time you're in town together. That brings us to college. Getting an education is actually pretty important as an adult. But don't think that means you must go to a 4-year university straight out of high school. There are tons of options available that I bet you haven't even thought of. First, unless you get a good scholarship, don't attend a school that is way above your means. Student loans will cover your education, but remember, they are loans and will need to be paid back. In fact, attending a community college for 2 years to get your basic education requirements out of the way can be a smart move. Community colleges are often not given the respect they deserve. You can take your basic core requirements at a community college and pay a lot less than traditional 4-year school. You'll be receiving the same education at a fraction of the cost, which can help you avoid taking out massive amounts of student loans. Besides, you can always transfer to that dream school at the end of the 2 years and finish your bachelor's degree there. Another alternative to a 4-year university is trade school and certificate programs. These programs are chronically underutilized by teens and often can be the key to a long career where you can make tons of money. There are many medical jobs, repair-type roles, tech jobs, and even public servant jobs that can be attained with as little as 6 months of formal training. For example, you've likely been to the doctor and had your blood drawn. That was likely done by a phlebotomist that received special medical training to do so. but that training was likely only 6 months long. And now they have career stability and a job that pays about $40,000 a year on average. Do you know that formal education is out of the equation for you? Are you tired of books and tests? Consider apprenticeship as an option. Jobs like plumbing, HVAC, glass installation, and electrical work often have apprenticeship programs to teach the tools of the trade and create better employees. By becoming an apprentice, you receive on-the-job training and often begin working on jobs and getting paid from day one. There might be an exam or interview process before becoming an apprentice, but it's a viable career option. The most important thing to remember when you turn 18 is that it's not just a magical turning point. You are an adult in the eyes of law, but you are only as much of an adult as you push yourself to be. You are now your own motivator, teacher, and cheerleader. You won't have the safety net and structure of your childhood. Jobs just don't funnel to the top like school did. But you do have the freedom to make big choices and take bigger chances in life when you turn 18. You have the freedom to channel your new self and begin to take steps to become them. You don't have to know everything, but you do have to have some goals. A starting point is key. So begin to think about what you want to do in life now. Think critically, because up to this point, your parents or guardians have had major influence on your personal, political, and future aspirations. You are a byproduct of your childhood, but your future does not have to be limited because of it. Think about your motivations, where you want to go, and how you want to live. If you don't have a clear picture, you're likely going to get tossed around by life. You have to begin to think long-term, because these are the years that build its foundation. Becoming an adult is a moment to savor, but you should also know some of the hard facts. There are some legal things to talk about. So now that you're an adult, your actions have adult consequences. As a child, your record is treated separately from your adult legal record. As an adult, you can face major legal consequences, and you will be punished to the full extent of the law. So keep your behavior and actions in check. Ignorance may be bliss, but the law doesn't care if you are unaware of the legality of your action. Another new thing? Jury duty summons. Yeah, they will call you for those. You have to respond to these, as it is considered your civic duty. There are ways to get out of it, but just ignoring a jury summons can lead you in trouble with the law. Another bummer? Taxes. You may not have been filing taxes, but you're gonna have to learn how. It's not as hard, but you should definitely find a filing service or method that works for you. You can likely do it yourself, but if your finances are complicated, you can hire someone to file on your behalf. A fun upside, if you're 18, you can now buy a lottery ticket. But maybe don't buy too many. Having a vice at 18 will have you spending a lot of money. Much like smoking, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Gambling is a way to throw away money, so save the high roller bets until a time you can really afford it. But now that we've given you the hard advice, these are the tips we think you should follow to be successful as an adult. Number 1, never lend money you aren't willing to lose. Lending cash to friends and family in need is a positive thing, but always do it with the idea that you may never get that money back. Never lend your last $10, and always expect that money to be gone forever. You might be surprised, but this rule of thumb might be helpful. Number 2, care less about what others think. I'm sure you've begun to do this already, but you'll be amazed at how little you care as a grown-up. If you can get over your nerves and fears now, you'll be ahead of the curve and much happier. Number 3, travel. These are the years to travel. You're young, full of energy, and backpacking can be cheap. Save some cash and travel now before careers and responsibilities force you to settle down. Number 4, start building your credit. Apply for 1 or 2 credit cards, but make sure that this is a tool to build credit, not increase your spending. Only put on your credit card what you can pay off comfortably at the end of the month. Number 5, don't marry young. We get it, everyone wants to marry their high school sweetheart, but look at divorce rates and be reasonable. Also realize that marriage is a sign of love, but it isn't the only sign. Take your time, you have decades. Number 6, build better habits. Now is also the time to break bad habits and build new ones. Enough said, you know it's true. Be honest with yourself and stay dedicated. Number 7, cut negativity out of your life. You don't need it, I promise. There are billions of people on the planet, and you never really stuck being friends with anyone, or even staying at a job you hate. Number 8, learn to say no. You're taught as a child to obey your parents, but as an adult, you can say no, set your limits, and never falter. Number 9, know that no one knows anything and we're all just winging it. I barely know what I'm having for dinner, let alone what I plan to be doing next year. How to wax a car? No idea. You know far less than you think. Number 10, know that things change, and that is okay. Time will fly, so enjoy it. Overall, we just want to let you know how much we hope that attaining adulthood is all you hoped it would be. You're going to do fine, and you don't have to have it all figured out right now. Just build a starting point, and over time you can look back and all the valuable lessons you've learned.